Chapter 2. The Royals. Dawson's point of view.
Darling, you didn't forget that this weekend you and Damien are both due at camp, did you? Of course, I would have preferred you to go next month when your little brother has his birthday, but I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate that.
Mother said, one night over dinner. I slammed my fist to the table, making the dishes clatter and staff stiffen their backs with fear. I grinned on the inside at their fear, but left a stern face to everyone else. I enjoyed keeping them on their toes and in their place. Mother, I don't have time for your charity nonsense. I'm going abroad with William to check out 2 prospective wives in a week's time. One of them is in my top 3, and I think might just be the one. She literally checks all my boxes, and if she looks half as good as her photo, I'll be throwing her over my shoulder and bringing her home, I said with a devious grin. It's not charity, and it's important. Our community needs it. I did it for many years when I was younger, and you'll both go. That's final, Father said, waving me off. I'm about to be king. I'm not a babysitter to wayward pups. Unlike some people, I was born for greatness. I have trained and worked tirelessly for my birthright since my first breath, I persisted. I stared daggers at my scheming brother. Damien threw a piece of bread at me, and I threw 2 back. Asshole. I was barely a year older than he was, but he often acted like a petulant 10-year-old. He certainly didn't carry himself appropriately as the third in line to the Drexel throne. I rolled my eyes at all of them, exasperated. I'd been searching for a wife for 3 years, and I should have been married by now, with an heir. I didn't have a precious month to waste.
Darling, please. It is a privilege to carry on the legacy,
Mother said, sipping her wine. Spare me the story I've heard 1,000 times, Mother. There are many suitable counselors that I'm sure are available. You'll find a bored sheriff's child, or get a commoner even, to be your drill sergeant babysitter. We rule 10 kingdoms, for God's sake. There's surely someone else, I urged. Every day, every month, there are always going to be pups having their first shift. I get that there are those who are less fortunate that may not have someone to help them with the process, but I've more than given my time. I had important things to do. Furthermore, you know damn well that Damien and I don't go to camp in the same month. I don't want to babysit him and clean up his messes, I said, matter of fact.
Yes, you never did tell me what Damien did to humiliate you, as you claim. Look, I already arranged it, so he'll be on one side and you'll be on the other. They had someone cancel because their mate just gave birth. Now stop. You 2 need to get along already. You're grown-ups. I think, anyhow.
Mother said with a chuckle. Father roared with glee at his mate's jab, and one of the servants slipped a laugh. I immediately got to my feet and stared at her. She whimpered and backed out of the dining room with her head lowered in submission. Damien only cares about himself. He's done nothing in his 21 years to show he even cares about being loyal to the crown. He's not fit to be a prince or a Drexel. I, on the other hand, take my name and my position very seriously. I mean to show the world that we will carry on our dynasty for another 4 generations or more. I cannot have a serious reign and rule as I see fit without the perfect queen by my side, and finding her is the only concern I have, I said, quite matter of fact. It's no secret I'm not you, and don't want to be. So why bother boring everyone with your pompous speech? Damien said, shaking his head. Asking for 1 month out of your entire year, and what may be your last year going, is not that much to ask. You will do it. Then you can go back to your wife search. We will not be discussing this again. I realize we are getting down to the wire, but we still have a few years before I name you king. Hell, I could even push it back until you're 30 if you feel like it, Father said. I sat back down and glared at Damien, who cracked his knuckles in grim satisfaction. Prick. After the painfully long 6-hour trek into the mountains, we'd finally gotten into camp. William, my long-trusted assistant, jogged over to the passenger side door and opened it. I got out and looked out, straightening my shirt. "You're such a dick to him," Damien said, shaking his head. I kept my face absolutely stern. William looked away. "And that blatant disrespect is why my first order as king will be that you come back here and clean the showers with your toothbrush. Now be a good pup and march on over to your side of the lake," I said dismissively. I noticed the long line to check in and rolled my eyes. I was a prince! I did not wait in line. "William, handle this. I'll be in my usual cabin," I said, glaring at Damien. I didn't trust him. He was always silently plotting something. I was certain of it. I had to always sleep with one eye open, but act as if I didn't care what he did. It was beyond exhausting.